What if I told you that you could clear entire rooms in seconds, apply insane poison damage to everything, and become completely unkillable while melting bosses and champions alike? This build is a pure powerhouse, centered around the devastating synergy of Necrotic Grip and Thorn, allowing you to chain poison effects, debuff enemies with Weaken, Scorch, and Unravel, and generate Transcendence energy ridiculously fast. And the best part? You don't need any seasonal mods for this to work. It's that strong on its own. With this setup, you'll be spamming grenades non-stop, healing endlessly, and stacking debuffs on everything you touch. Enemies don't just die, they infect everything around them, turning the battlefield into a chain reaction of destruction. This build isn't just powerful, it's straight up fun to play, making it one of the most broken prismatic setups you can run in endgame PvE. If you want to melt Grandmasters, crush raids, and dominate any PvE content, then stick around, because we're about to break down every piece of this insane build so you can start obliterating everything in sight. Welcome to Insightful Gaming. If you love game-breaking builds like this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more insane Destiny 2 content, and most importantly, join my Discord. The link is in the description. Come play with me, ask questions, and even join my clan if you need a fire team. We're growing our community, so come join in the fun. Now, let's dive into the exotic armor that makes this build truly overpowered. The core of this build is Necrotic Grip, and if you've never used it before, you're about to see just how broken this exotic really is. The Grasp of the Devourer perk poisons enemies on melee hit, dealing increasing damage over time, and the real power comes from its chain effect. Defeating a poisoned target spreads the infection to nearby enemies, creating a never-ending cycle of destruction. But that's just the beginning. Thorn pairs perfectly with Necrotic Grip because its Mark of the Devourer rounds already apply poison. And guess what? Kills with Thorn's bullets also spread Necrotic Grip's poison effect. This means that every enemy you kill infects everything nearby, and as long as you keep landing hits, the poison never stops spreading. This exotic not only chains poison effortlessly, but it also synergizes perfectly with our Transcendence generation, thanks to our Fragments and Facets. The more poison spreads, the more darkness and light energy we generate, allowing us to activate Transcendence incredibly fast. With Necrotic Grip and Thorn, we're turning enemies into poison bombs, debuffing everything with Weaken and Unravel, and creating an infinite loop of destruction. The best weapon for this build is Thorn, and it's not even close. Its Mark of the Devourer perk causes rounds to pierce targets and deal poison damage over time, and every kill drops a remnant, which strengthens the effect and reloads your magazine. But here's where things get ridiculous. Thorn's poison effect spreads Necrotic Grip's poison, meaning every shot has the potential to infect entire groups of enemies, turning them into a chain reaction of death. If you don't want to run Thorn, Osteostriga, or Necrochasm are also fantastic choices since their poison effects also spread Necrotic Grip's infection, but for this build, we're focusing on Thorn for its infinite ammo sustain and damage stacking potential. For heavy, we're running Corrective Measure, a void aggressive frame machine gun from Vault of Glass that comes with demoralize to weaken enemies on hit and destabilizing rounds, which spreads volatile to nearby targets. This means that while Thorn is infecting enemies with poison, Corrective Measure is weakening them and making them explode. It's the perfect combination of poison, debuffs, and explosions, ensuring nothing survives. If you don't have Corrective Measure, any weapon with destabilizing rounds works well to keep volatile constantly spreading, giving us yet another layer of debuffs and AoE damage. For our super, we're using Song of Flame. With this, our kinetic weapon scorch targets and lets us spam grenades endlessly. This works perfectly with our infinite poison spread, allowing us to weaken and burn everything in sight while keeping up insane ability uptime. For class ability, we're running Phoenix Dive, which not only activates Hellion's Solar Mortar for extra scorch damage, but also keeps us mobile and constantly healing, making us even harder to kill. For melee, we're using Arcane Needle, which applies Unravel, adding another damage over time effect on top of Poison and Scorch. while also giving us Darkness Transcendence energy every time we use it. For Grenade, we're using Healing Grenade because it has the fastest cooldown and gives us an ability to heal on demand. For Aspects, we're running Feed the Void, which activates Devour on ability kills, meaning every enemy we poison, burn, or unravel feeds our healing and ability regen. We're also using Hellion, which gives us a Solar Mortar when activating our class ability, adding extra Scorch damage to every fight and feeding Ember of Ashes for even more ignitions. For Fragments, we're running Facet of Dawn, making our powered melee attacks grant Radiant, giving us bonus weapon damage while also speeding up our class ability cooldown through Facet of Hope. Facet of Sacrifice ensures every ability kill gives us Darkness Transcendence energy, while Facet of Grace gives us even more Transcendence energy from kinetic weapon kills, which means Thorn is constantly fueling our Transcendence bar. Finally, Facet of Devotion lets us gain light Transcendence energy from strand debuffs, which we're getting from Arcane Needle. With this setup, we're poisoning everything, weakening enemies, stacking Scorch, generating Transcendence energy at ridiculous speeds, and staying completely unkillable. Now let's go over the armor mods that push this build to the next level. To fully optimize this build, we're stacking mods that generate orbs, reduce cooldowns, and keep our poison and ability cycle running non-stop. On the helmet, we have Kinetic Siphon to generate orbs of power on rapid Thorn kills, Dynamo for bonus super energy when casting Phoenix Dive, and Heavy Ammo Finder to keep Corrective Measure fully stocked for high damage phases. For Gauntlets, we're running Heavy Handed to generate orbs of power from powered melee kills, Focusing Strike to restore class ability energy on melee damage, and Grenade Kickstart to refund grenade energy when consuming armor charge, ensuring constant grenade spam. On the chest, we're using defensive mods based on the activity. For legs, we have Innovation to restore grenade energy on orb pickup, Invigoration for melee energy return, and Insulation to reduce class ability cooldown on orb pickup, keeping Phoenix Dive ready at all times. Finally, for the Warlock Bond, we're running Outreach to reduce melee cooldown on class ability use, Bomber to cut grenade cooldowns every time we use Phoenix Dive, and Powerful Attraction to automatically collect nearby orbs when activating class ability, ensuring we're constantly cycling armor charge into grenade and melee energy. With this setup, we're maximizing ability uptime, keeping orbs flowing, and making sure we never stop poisoning, weakening, and debuffing enemies. This build is an absolute monster, and if you want to see it in action, join my Discord. The link is in the description. Come play with me, ask questions, and even join my clan. We're growing our community, so come join in the fun. If you enjoyed this build, hit that like button, subscribe for more insane Destiny 2 guides, and let me know in the comments what build you want to see next. This is Insightful Gaming, signing off. Go melt some enemies, and I'll see you in the next one.